Good evening. I will formally start the meeting. I will seat Ted and John, and I don't have to seat Kirsten because you're already official. It's Kirsten, right? I just want to
Kirsten.
some people say Kirsten.
It's Kirsten. Thank you.
Um, and so I will seat Ted and John, Ted Keatsman and John Goodrich as full members for this special meeting that's being held March 5th at 6, and we'll officially start at 6:10 p.m. And what we're going over is the guidelines, the Historic District Handbook, and we're going to start tonight's meeting at light fixtures, which is page 2 dash or II 2-45. So so from them, I will just go through what I saw is that it was an interesting history kind of thing, but I had a question. If you go on 2-45 at the very beginning, they talk about a recently developed light source is the so-called Ceramilux lamp. And I wasn't sure what your thoughts were. I mean, it's kind of superfluous, but because it's not recently developed compared to modern times, or to present times, I should say. So I just was curious about that one sentence saying recently developed.
I think we could delete it.
I don't think the whole opening paragraph offers much.
Right. No.
That's, that seems pertinent to what we do.
Yeah. Because it talks about exterior commercial light fixtures should be as close to sunlight as possible. That's fine, but the high pressure sodium and metal halide lamps are generally all.
I agree, but I don't think the first paragraph's necessarily not. I mean, when they redid Mystic, they went for historic street lights. So I think having a nod there is important. I mean, unless we want to put, super modern lights everywhere, I think there's got to be something there. Don't you guys agree?
The first paragraph's fine. There's little historic precedent to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It doesn't do anything. I mean, so, I don't know, John, if you want to keep it or not keep it, because it's sort of a nice historical footnote, but I don't see it ever coming up in any of our deliberations on our certificate of appropriateness.
and that's something to look at for this whole document. There's lots of like history pieces that I know John will like because it kind of reminds the committee why we're here, but at the same time, to your point, as a practical aspect for the community when they're reading this, is that helpful for them in filling out their applications?
And it makes me wonder if I need to know at the end of the day when we vote on this. I feel, does that mean I'm responsible for knowing what a glass acorn is and a Cobra head fixture? Because right now I don't know what either of those are.
So Cobra head fixture, sort of that modern 60s like street light that looks like a Cobra head. I mean,
Okay,
the
all
ones
right,
like the
that's
old
what
school
that
ones when
is.
we were.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so even if I know that though, what difference does it? I mean, because are we ever going to be dealing with streetlights?
No, but you might be dealing with
Commercial building.
commercial, yeah, parking
Right.
lot lighting, etc. And I don't know how relative it is now because there's a lot that is addressed in lighting through dark skies requirements.
Okay.
So,
Or new technology too, like
yeah, right, it's
like
it's-
LEDs aren't listed in here. They
Right,
weren't even
right.
around when they
Right.
were
zoning regulations, they address full cutoff lighting
right.
and so I don't know.
Generally,
what's-
somebody else will be in
To what
front of us. in
extent,
terms of-
right. But,
Well, the Mystic Museum of Art parking lot, they put up a light, and I think Eric had comments about the light pole.
Yeah, we did. We wanted that
the-
decorative.
A little less
Right.
modern, a little
Right.
more.
Right.
right, I.
But But I don't think this paragraph doesn't necessarily help us do that, right? We can just.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know if that language is moving toward what you're trying to achieve.
So I'm fine with it in, I'm fine with it out, I'm fine with
Okay.
whatever you want, whatever you
All
think.
right, well,
I mean, I think we should come back to it. I think, you know, at the end of the day, to everybody's point, the public is gonna read this and kind of understand what we're looking for. I think. I don't think it would prove like a super modern fixture anywhere. So I think there's gotta be some language that lets the public understand that. So maybe none of this works, but I think there's gotta be something in there.
Yeah, that's tough, because what are you gonna start doing, listing what is and what isn't? That's a,
Right.
that's a hard, you know, it's a hard thing to pin down. Guys. I don't know if you want some kind of general language that addresses, you know, it kind of leaves it open to the commission for, you know, review of appropriateness based on the overall project type, you know. But that's language you guys can further explore amongst yourselves.
so for right now, we'll leave it in. I don't disagree with the, that it's not, doesn't help the community member who's applying for an application, but it's just
But I think this needs to be cleaned up
Good.
somewhat.
a good reminder.
You know, and Tim's point, I think every project's a little different. If it's a colonial house, you might put a gas light on it. If it's
Right,
the old bank, you might have a more
Right.
industrial fixture.
right, and for you to start trying to create language that specifies what you
Right.
want. I think it's just way too varied.
Right.
All right, and then the next section on awnings. I'm, you know, I'm very sad about Pizzetta closing, but I was really curious what their awnings that they had originally proposed were going to
I'm
look.
sorry, I'm not lost the place. Where's awnings?
1146 or I 46.
You skipped landscaping? Oh,
okay.
awnings are, okay, I got it.
But I had nothing. Add there. Then when I had something, the formal replanting of rows of elms is not discouraged. We're under landscaping. Do you see that? Still on 246.
Mhm.
However, the formal replanting of elms is not discouraged where historic precedent exists of the same. It is notable. I didn't think we had any say on planting, so that's why I was curious why that was even there.
Probably because downtown Mystic on both sides, people lined with the Elm Streets up and down before the Hurricane of 38. I'm guessing that's why that's in there. But you're right, we have no say over.
And zoning, really looks at it closely and has, is, you know, they have heavy regulations regarding that.
I'm gonna make a note to delete this whole section on plantings.
I'm surprised by the sentence that says we're empowered to make recommendations. Related to trees. Yeah, I didn't know we had any
Mm.
Scope and landscaping.
Maybe a good question to ask why it's in there then.
That's, I wrote.
Because I agree, I don't think we do, but it was in there. So somebody put in there for a reason. Was it an
Right.
oversight or? Might be
Somebody,
good,
somebody
good
thinks we
town
have
attorney
some
question.
purview on trees, so
Yeah.
I didn't know that was part of our mission.
I think it'd be a good question to ask why it's in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, I made a note.
Then I think I mean, what do you guys think? We just put a general comment, you know, that we basically, like Tim said, you know, sorry, there's already planning and zoning
Right.
rules on it, just defer to those.
And then we got the signs, general discussion. but all of this was fine. I think we are pretty we adhere to everything
Mhm.
that that it says here. Style of sign shall be consistent with historic traditions. I think that's one thing we are very good at, is keeping downtown, even though it's modernized, but making the signs appropriate and those kind of things.
So I have a question on street traffic signs. Aren't those regulated by the state?
Well, street signs would be regulated by the town, certain. uh, There would be, some areas that the state would probably have purview over as far as requiring traffic signs at a certain standard for highway safety reasons, which I doubt you would see them come ask for permission, to put them up.
Right, that's my kind of my point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
This is. But I think if there are street signs that are gonna be painted wood, that this kind of gives us
right.
some guidance. So I personally, well, yes, we'll probably never have to see a COA
Right.
for these. I think it's good to keep in here. And that brings us to our appendices, which is the end. Or at least the end of the document that I have.
Now, what's the rule, Tim, with, I'm sure I'd never see a budget in this town, but like historic street signs, like we have some historic districts in other towns, they have their own street signs. What's the regulation there?
well, it's regulation as far as how they're funded.
No, I mean, what's the regulation? I don't know. Is there any regulation behind them? Is the one you just bought, don't we want purple and green mystic signs, or I'm being silly to make a point. Is there any law that has size and what can be on them and font and all that?
Well, I think that it would get handled under zoning. They have signage requirements. I'm not 100% certain on how that would get handled. I would, if it would be a commission thing, if it would just be a commission review or public hearing thing, I could talk to Deb Jones and find out about that and see. I know currently there's several different proposals going on for wayfinding signs throughout town, and there's a little bit of, I guess, for lack of a better term, disagreement between the city and the town, how that they want the signs to look. So, it's being worked on right now, not on the historic district component, but in general, for, directional signs around town. Yeah. I can look at what the process would be for approval of that.
I just wonder if we should put that in there for redoing the handbook in case it works out in the future.
I can find out if the handbook probably should have some language that would refer to zoning. Based on any district signing, I guess we to paraphrase it.
Okay.
Yeah, I could talk to them and see. I'll talk to Deb and talk to Tom and see how they're handling the other one, what the process is. I think right now with the other one, they're still working through design at this point. They haven't got to a, locations and approved installation methods, et cetera,
Got it.
all that, so. It's probably headed toward that, so. There's probably some idea already of what it has to do to proceed.
Got it. Okay.
I don't know if you guys are able to easily go back to page 11 or 2-43. Talks about parking areas. I saw a note that that's where we stopped
Oh, okay.
in the last meeting. Sorry, I just caught that. But I didn't know if I had nothing really to change. And then if you don't have anything to go down to waterfront structures.
Bill,
Oh,
just real quick, a question about that parking thing.
Yeah.
Is that kind of relative to the driveway cut that we just reviewed extensively on Bank Street?
so right above it is what we discussed driveways.
Okay,
There's
So
a
this is-
section on driveways and then
Okay.
it goes to a section on parking.
okay.
We,
This is
and
general,
at
general
the,
parking.
yeah,
Okay,
and I'm sorry, at the last meeting, we did the driveways.
okay, sorry, I don't remember.
No, I don't want you to think I'm blowing you off.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Oh.
Thank you.
But I have a note here. It says we stopped right after driveways, but
Okay.
before parking. So that's why I'm only going back to,
I was trying to remember because I thought
because,
during that conversation got brought up and I couldn't remember where it went anywhere.
yeah, because we were talking about paving materials. And they were-
Yeah,
they was- We thought that was funny, that they kind of dictated different paving materials for parking and for driveways. So, and then the last section would be waterfront structures. Very small. You guys don't have anything. We'll just close the discussion on the historic district handbook edits.
So what's a river bulkhead?
What's that?
What's a river bulkhead?
It's a, I mean, the bulkheading is just the staving that goes along the waterfront.
Yeah, to me, it's where you drive pilings of wood to hold like kind
It's
of
like a
a retaining wall,
copper
for back
stamp
of water,
kind of
better
thing.
word. Do you agree with
What's
that?
that?
It's not
A
copper,
bulk,
it's
what's a
wood.
river bulkhead?
A good example of it would be, there's a river bulkhead that is adjacent to the park on Cottrell Street. On the Cottrell Street side.
Oh, okay.
It's
a
kind
wall.
of a giant
Yep.
retaining wall
Right.
that they usually pour a large concrete head on the top of it that
Yeah.
kind of gives it its structure.
And it could be wood stavings. that,
It's
like,
wood,
Tongue and groove.
wood, a lot of times they'll use,
Right.
yeah, there'll be tongue and groove corrugated metal panels.
Yeah,
Get rid of them
yeah.
one after the other.
I've
and then-
seen those in construction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
They
Sometimes
make
they're
these
used on a
thing called
permanent
copper
basis.
dams, don't they? That's what they used to pour the footing.
Yeah, yeah.
something
A
that
lot
they've
of times
used to
gas
hold back
stations
on.
use them to do a hold back on when they're doing tanks and stuff like that. But
Okay.
they make them with a big heavy gauge that they're used for
Right.
bulkhead
Right,
construction.
right, got it.
Um,
And they
So,
do wood too, like Bill said,
Yes.
they do tongue and groove wood and there's a number of variations.
Yep, good.
At this point, if there's no other input from the other members, I'll close the discussion on the
Sure.
edits for this meeting at 6:26 on Tuesday, March 5th. Sorry, yeah, 6:26. I would like to ask another.
Yeah.
Non-historic district handbook. I've driven, and it's just a curious, I've driven into other towns and says you're entering the historic district of blah, blah, blah. And there's like a little wooden signs curved and carved.
Yeah,
and
got a little
Pretty-
downtown
Yeah,
thing of it or something, yeah.
and I know we're the Groton Historic District, so we could only do it on our side of the river, but I was just curious, is that something worth bringing up to zoning? Worth
What was
bringing-
that? I was reading something.
A sign that says you're now entering the historic district.
So there's already some out there.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oddly enough, 3 of them are in the wrong place.
Oh, okay, where? I mean.
On High Street is one of them, so it says you're entering the historic district and it's like 500 feet before the historic district actually starts.
I think there's one going down the hill too, that's too far down.
Yeah, it is. That's
Yeah.
the second one. I forget what
Yeah.
the third one is. Yeah.
Yeah,
You mean on Route 1, there's one?
yeah,
I lived on Route 1. I think so. How did I miss? Wow.
it's one of those things that just,
You see it every day and I
Yeah.
just, okay, okay, then I retract. I was,
So maybe that's a good project for you guys to get the signs in the right place.
all right, well, it's good that they're out there. at least.
But I think we could use some more, 'cause I think there's only 5 in the whole town, and there's obviously more borders, but again, it's
Is there one
it's budget.
coming from
How you
Knowing?
gonna get it? How you gonna get it budgeted?
Is there one coming from Knowing?
I don't recall.
I don't think so.
I don't think there is.
Okay.
I think I've seen one on the Stonington side though, too.
Is there coming?
On
this way?
Greenmanville Avenue was your.
No, because there's no historic district on Stonington, so there wouldn't be.
I know, but there's a sign that you're entering historic Mystic
Oh.
from coming towards downtown Mystic.
That I could see, but that's not historic
I'm just, I
district.
don't,
yeah.
I know it's not technically, John,
Yeah.
I'm saying it's, that didn't stop them from putting up a sign that said, welcome to historic.
Yeah, and you know, it says you're entering the district. It's not like
Right,
this is the
right,
delineation,
right.
essentially, you know, you're.
No, the reason I remember it's when I first got on the commission, that guy cut all those trees down there at that house on High Street.
Okay,
And somebody said, he didn't get, or he did something where all the trees were cut down and they tried to bring him here. And I think Bonnie tried to bring him in front of us and it was like, no, he's not in the historic district.
He just passed.
So I have a question, perhaps I missed it. Was there anything in the handbook that outlined the parameters of the historic district? Like, if there is,
at the beginning.
okay,
Yeah, there's a map.
We talked about that too, at least the way the handbook's broken down roughly is, there's our procedures and stuff, application procedures, what a complete application looks like, hearing procedures, all that kind of stuff. At the beginning, we spent a lot of time on that, so there's some maybe more significant changes there.
Okay.
Because in my impression, section 2 then is what we've been working on, we just finished, is all about design guidelines and specifics on things like driveways or signs or dormers or stuff like that.
Roof lines.
We've done some modernization on
Yeah.
that piece, but
Great.
there's not that much there's not any controversy in that section, at least in my opinion. Everybody's like, yeah, it sounds pretty good. It just sounds like an update. There was more lively discussion, but it was about a year ago it got started on what's required to make a complete application and what the timing should be. And, that kind of discussion. So I think at least for your benefit, I would support having a more thorough review of the procedures before we all sort of sign off on that. We think this is great.
Yeah.
And send it on to.
Well, if I can just add real
Yeah.
quick, I think what you should probably do is create a complete draft document
Mhm.
and have one more meeting with a full, as many people
board.
as possible. And not go through everything item for item, but just have a general discussion on the overall. I mean, I think the consensus on the changes was kind of worked out through the whole process. If now that when you get a draft document, you read the draft document and you see it in form, you may have a
Right.
different opinion of how it presents the context, and you may want to address that from a whole board.
Yeah.
And then
I
at that
agree.
point, create a final draft document, send it to the attorney and move forward with the hearing process.
Completely agree. It would be nice if we could shade or highlight anything that we touched, though, would be also.
I don't know how Eric did it on his.
He has track changes going
Right.
on.
It's okay, I can go through it page by page and
Yeah.
there aren't that many pages in the procedure section.
Right.
And speaking for myself, because it'd not only be good, I think, for Kirsten being new and
Oh,
not
yeah.
part of the first discussion, but it'd be good for me because I think some of those things a year ago, I might have changed my thinking a little bit on
Okay.
some
Yeah.
things that I thought made more sense then.
And I wasn't here for that.
And might
So-
not make as much sense now. And if you weren't here for it, I wouldn't mind some things. Occasionally brushed into things that we thought had a legal component, like we wanted, can we change the wait time or how long they have or,
Extend a public hearing,
yeah,
et cetera, yeah.
there's some questions that we thought we could change and then ran into like, no, actually
Yeah,
that's already set at a level higher than us. Like
Yeah.
we're underneath some enabling legislation, is
Right,
the way I think
right, it's
about it. And so we're
statutorily-
not
a
really
lot of
at
that is
liberty to go and
statutorily.
change 15-day wait time. If they said 15 days, I mean, we couldn't change it, but we could go and get the town to change it or the state to change it.
Right.
That kind of thing. So we want to kind of know what parameters we're already into, or don't have ability to change.
Speaking of,
Nothing, everything design guidelines we can change, I think, John.
yeah, speaking of parameters, whatever happened to our signs? Are we still giving out those yellow signs?
Yeah.
Okay.
The yellow
saw
signs,
one.
they're all over.
I
the
see
place.
them. I passed by one the other day.
Yeah, so
the
laminate
road.
them regularly and stuff.
It's
Get some of that.
working, because I.
Yeah.
But that's
generally
not, that's
walk-
not part of the book yet, but that's just a recommendation, right?
No, but it's an example of, that everybody's doing it,
Yeah,
because I always check for that when I'm out walking around,
yeah.
looking at the applicants. And
Suitable
people have
notification.
it's pretty near 100% compliance with that.
Yeah, yeah, people have been pretty good.
Sometimes they're a little hard to find, but I've yet to not find them. So,
Oh, we have only two.
Yeah, be quick.
So I don't know,
So
in
should we
closing,
call
how you
this?
want to handle this,
You wanna
yeah,
close
as far
this
as,
meeting?
yeah.
Alright. I would like to make a motion. First, I'd like to thank everybody for their input on the final sections of the Historic District Commission handbook. And at 6:35, close this meeting and recess until 7 till we meet as
Regular meeting.
regular traditional meeting. Motion.
Just don't,
I
Can you-
made a motion to
I
close.
second that. Keatsman second,
All right, Goodrich,
Goodrich, aye.
Ferguson, I.
Keatsman, I.
Okay, sorry. It's like, in my mind, like, going through, Packa. Packa, okay, I got it. All right, so moved, so adjourned.
So maybe in the next meeting, you want to address a timeframe for formulating the draft document and reconvening.
Yeah.
To address,
Yeah, when more
Yeah.
of us are here, I think it.
Yeah.
You see these?
The minutes from the last meeting?
Mr. Ferguson, would you like to call the meeting to order, sir?
Thought I still have 45 more seconds, so.
my phone.
Am I rushing you? I apologize. I'm not trying to rush you.
That motion must be
Yeah,
taken.
It's not, oh, it's brutal. Thank you.
All right, good evening. It is 7 o'clock on March 5th, 2024. I'd like to call the Historic District Commission meeting to order, and I'd like to welcome Kirsten Paka as our newest member and seat John Goodrich and Ted Keatsman as full members for tonight's meeting. And I would welcome Ted to read the call to start off the meeting.
Please publish the following on Tuesday, February 27, 2024. Town of Groton Notice of Public Hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, March 5th at 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Groton Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, and virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HDC 24-0011. 20 Pearl Street, John McCarrick, owner applicant, privacy screen, PIN 2619184100582. HDC 24-0012, 29 Gravel Street, Bill Birchie, applicant / Karen owner.
What's Karen's last name? Smith.
Karen Smith, owner, pedestal electric meter. PIN 2619184241113. A Zoom meeting link will be posted on the town's website, meetings calendar, applications are on file and available for public inspection during the business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut. dated this 27th day of February, 2024, Groton, Connecticut. Todd Brady, secretary. Read for him by Ted Keatsman.
You pass that down, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Sir.
Pin numbers are small.
Probably blow 'em up.
Thank you, Ted, for reading that. And I'd like to waive reading the procedure. But if anyone would like to read them, they're on the yellow sheet on the table off to the side. So with that in mind, we'll jump right to it and ask John McCarrick from 20 Pearl Street, HDC 24-0011 to come forward and present. And state your name and your address, please.
John McCarrick from 20 Pearl Street in Mystic. And my proposal is to present or create a privacy fence on the side of our home, extending from the home about 6 feet out. It'll be just one panel, really 6 by 6. This is I don't know if that can be seen, that is the area that it's going to be placed from the house, almost in line with the house, against the driveway.
Hold on a second, John. He's zooming in on.
Zooming in for us.
I'm gonna turn this over.
Yeah,
Just,
Yeah, perfect.
yeah,
Oh.
that helps.
Yes.
Just look at the screen and just shift it over, so. it's-
Just put it where
it's
this,
in full
put it
screen.
right over towards this. There you go.
It's backwards from what
Yeah.
you expect, so.
Put it right where that microphone is.
You can slide the microphone over slightly.
Yeah,
if
the
you have to,
microphone
yeah.
movable.
There you go.
Commissioner Carrick, it's the screen, basically what we're seeing there, the garbage and the compressor, is that correct?
Excuse
But
me,
you're using the screen, what we see in that picture there, the garbage and the compressor, is that correct?
it's gonna screen that off.
Okay.
Yeah. Essentially
did-
from the house over right to the edge of the house along the driveway, that's 6 feet. So it'll be about that area. That'll also give me 2 feet to back in and out and not hit it.
I've walked by your house. I'm familiar with it. That's St. Mark's right across the street, but
Yep.
to help out everybody, if you could just kind of orient us a little bit from a farther out
From a bird.
Sure.
perspective.
That's from the street, looking back.
So that's standing on Pearl Street, looking down.
That's from Pearl Street, looking at our home at 20 Pearl Street, and my neighbor, I believe he's 18 Pearl Street.
Mhm.
And can you zoom in and put your finger where the privacy screen is going in relation to that picture?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you'll barely be able to see it because it's mostly to the left of the driveway.
Mhm.
So you
Can
might
you-
see 2
Can
feet
you
of it.
zoom in with your and just put your finger where that's going?
So it'll be in back here, but it'll probably be just in line with that post, that it'll probably be
Gotcha.
about as much as you'll see, and it'll just match the fence that's already in existence in the back, the
Okay.
same style.
Perfect. Nope, I just want on record just for that perspective to be seen.
Okay. I did,
Oh,
and again, that's from looking at the house, it'll just come out along those cobblestones, 6 feet.
You have a plot plan too?
I do. I think that was presented online.
uh,
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
first
that-
one, it's the
yeah,
first exhibit in our,
Right, yeah, this one too.
mhm.
So essentially, that was that small square, that was the addition we placed, and it goes from there to just be in line with the house. And the driveway is coming up along the side.
So where is it on that picture?
It should be here,
That small
right where that
rectangle?
rectangle is over.
Okay.
This will actually show it a little better. It's a
Yeah.
little larger.
That'd be a good picture.
It drives you a little crazy to get the hang.
So it should extend from just here, right in line with the house here, come out 6 feet. This is where the compressor is over here right now. And those garbage cans are right here.
And do you have a picture of the fence that you want to put up?
Yes, I do. No. It'll be similar in style. It'll be actually the same as this, which is the existing fence in back of the property right currently, and that's what we're gonna have going down on the north side of the property.
Mr. McCarrick, I was gonna ask, because I'm looking at your list from the fence company. Will this enclosure also be 6 feet high?
Excuse me,
Will this enclosure also be 6 feet high?
6 feet high. So that it'll match that fence. That's a 6 foot high fence there. So it'll be the same style and construction.
And I think we talked about this last time when we were online, that the panels are 6 feet high, so the fence may be higher.
But no more than 7 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure that was on record, that's all.
Anything else? All right,
I have no other questions.
No, that was
very good. Thank you.
very well done, thank you. All right.
You can
So
ask for, no,
any,
that happens next time.
well, does anybody in the audience want to speak?
Oh,
That
right,
happens now. Does anyone in the audience want to speak for the application? Does anyone in the audience want to speak against the application? All right, HDC 24-001, public hearing is closed. We'll now ask, even though it says Bill, we'll ask Chris Vernot, come on up for HDC 24-0012.
Is there anybody on Zoom other than Susan?
Well, participants on the bottom only says 2.
Okay, no,
Mm.
I didn't think there was.
It's just me and Susan, so
Yeah.
Gus and Susan.
Yeah. Mhm. Good evening. Good evening, sir,
Hello.
or no?
How's everybody?
We're well. How are you today?
I'm great. All right.
You can tell us your name again.
No fiction here. Chris Vernot with Mercer Percy Vernot Architects, representing 29 Gravel Street. And this is a picture of 29 Gravel Street. I just brought that along tonight. So everybody,
Yeah.
good with that. I also have site plan in here. So this is a neighborhood plan that shows where the property is. This is Gravel Street here. There's a stop sign before you turn onto Eldridge. And this is the property that we're talking about. This is the front parcel, and then this is the rear parcel out back. We're here tonight to talk about a pedestal meter, which is currently located at the top of the driveway right here on the right-hand side. If you were going up the driveway, I'm proposing to move it back, back here where these two lots split, and put it in the corner there of the front lot. This is a closer up site plan to show what's going on. Gravel Street here. And this is the river. So this is the driveway as it comes up, and the current pedestal meter location is here at A. And what that looks like, quick, in its current configuration is an unfortunate thing like this. Due to the amount of gear, they got the main house, an accessory dwelling unit, a standby generator, an electrical based air source heating system. So there's a lot of gear associated with the property, and it takes a fairly large size pedestal meter like this to put all the gear on. Additionally, we're in the flood zone, and because this is a new service, everything has to be above the FEMA flood elevation +1. So that's what drives the height of this, in addition just to the size of the equipment. So when I was here last time for just a preview, the group asked if I had reviewed this with Eversource, and so that's what I had taken care of between now and then. I did get approval from Eversource, which just came in the nick of time today. But this is an email showing that I reviewed it with Eversource and that they signed off on the location and orientation for that. So what we're proposing for the design. Oh, and maybe I'll just mention quick here, a couple of things that come into play. On the site plan here, this dashed line here and here is a 6-foot setback for accessory structures. And because of the size of this thing, it's technically falls under an accessory structure. So we have to be a minimum of 6 foot away from the property line. And if you can see this dark line here, that's the way the board is oriented, you know, parallel to the property line on the south here. Okay, so as far as the design goes, what we looked at last time, the image on the bottom here shows what it would look like from, you know, the back door of the house. And so on the map here, it's basically standing from this area looking toward B, and that would be the view on the bottom here. The top is a little closer up. I know we're not showing much, but this was sort of an exercise to show the client how we could conceal it and get rid of it with landscaping, which is their goal, is to basically not see this. So we went through this last time as well, where on the bottom, again, a little closer up, there will have to be sort of a path through the bushes there to get to this. And with the landscape removed is what it's going to look like at the top. And then we have a little sketch here showing the material callouts. So the sides will be trimmed with boral composite trim, and that'll be painted. We have a painted metal roof on this with painted wood trim edges. The doors will be painted clapboard hardy cement to match the house. I have a sheet to show detail on that. And the steps are going to be a pressure treated wood. We do have to put bollards in front of this. And I think what we'll do is 6x6 pressure treated bollards trimmed out to match this, you know, that'll have trim on it, a cap and
Is
paint.
that just near the driveway? They're making put ballards up?
Yes, Eversource says because this is the driveway, it's in proximity to the driveway, snow plowing, that sort of thing. They want bollards in front of it. It's hard to argue with Eversource. And this is a sheet showing the hardy cement board that we propose to use for the back and the cabinet doors at the front. I think that covers all the bases.
The railings going up the steps, would they be pressure treated as well?
Well, I'm not sure if we have to do railings or not. Eversource mentioned that in their email, and I didn't get a chance to clarify. I don't think we need railings because it's only 2 steps and less than 30 inches. So building code says we don't need railings,
Okay,
but I'm not sure if that's an Eversource requirement.
all right, for the safety of their
Not sure.
workers.
Yeah.
Not sure. All they ever, you know, what I ever deal with them is the clear area in front and the height to the center of the meter glass.
Yeah.
I never.
I suspect because we're less than 30 inches and it's
Yeah.
only 2 steps that we don't
Okay.
need a
Building
railing.
code wouldn't trigger any kind of.
Right,
handrail
no,
requirement.
I'm just reading their email that they
Yeah.
sent you, so.
Yeah.
Chris,
This-
if they want rungs, what would you do? You use pressure treated?
Yeah, I mean, because it's gonna be concealed with landscaping at the end of the day, I think probably just pressure treated railing, if that's okay with you guys, if the commission prefers something different, we could go for,
I understand.
No, I was thinking for your peace of mind, if these guys are good, we write it on the COA, pressure treated handrails if required by Eversource, so you don't
Okay.
have to come back. But that's
Sure,
up to
sure.
These ladies and
Would you
gentlemen.
like me to write that on that sheet that shows the materiality there?
know, we did one, down Cena Road where it's actually just a berm. And they're fine with that.
Well, that's, we're berming just a little bit so we
Yeah.
can keep it at two-step
Yeah.
risers and not get into,
You could just,
okay.
and if you don't put it on, you're still covered, you know what I mean?
You know, most they might make you put a grass clipping rail on one side.
Chris, is that exactly to scale? I'm teasing you.
It's testing his architecture.
It's to eyeball scale, yes. It's a,
1 inch equals 3 feet. Does it say if Eversource requires on it?
railing if required,
Oh, okay, yeah,
we'll.
I just don't want you to think we're required.
For the record, Your Honor.
Ooh.
It's almost legible.
No,
Okay.
and just need your initials and then we're golden.
Not his date.
No, no.
We'll put the date. We'll go for
Just
all the
the-
goodies.
Okay.
Can we get a thumbprint too?
No blood samples.
Okay, thank you, thank you. We're just protecting you so you don't have to come back for.
Yes,
Yeah, that's-
that's great. That's great.
Can I ask, can you ask questions that don't have? Well, I'm gonna try anyway. This doesn't have anything to do with the design.
Yeah.
You said earlier that the back, that parcel right in the middle is owned by these guys too?
Yes.
And how would they ever get to it? I mean, they go down this
So, I don't know if
driveway
you
and
can zoom
that's-
in
that's when the
at
pul-
all, but right, the, are you able to zoom, Tim?
A little bit.
Awesome. Okay, great. Yeah. This way. Okay, so the driveway here on the south side, there's an easement on the driveway to get to the back lot here.
Yeah.
And so the pedestal meter location on the corner over here, we've run spare conduit to this location, which can also in the future feed the back
Mhm.
property. The current owner doesn't have any plans of any sort to make
Okay.
use of a second parcel out back. In fact, he doesn't mind if it goes back to one contiguous parcel, but
Right.
the driveway is an easement.
That's right, this recently sold and they split it, didn't
And
they?
It was split
a year
just
ago.
before they sold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember this, yeah.
And that building in the back of there is, that's theirs, but it's not really there anymore. It is there, the little,
This
like a shed.
dot here, there's nothing there
yeah,
that I
Okay.
know of. Nothing here at this little dot either.
okay. Thanks, Chris. I'm just curious about.
Sure, yeah.
Plans. I don't have questions. It looks good.
Do you guys have any?
No questions.
I think it's really well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Can't believe I'm gonna ask this question, but does anybody in the audience want to speak for? Or does anybody in the audience want to speak against?
Anybody else online?
Thank you. And there's nobody on it. Great. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, HDC 24-0012 29 Gravel Street is closed. All right, and that closes the public hearing section of the meeting. And now we'll go to consideration of public hearings. Start with HDC 24-001 20 Pearl Street. John McCarrick, owner, applicant, privacy screened. Does anybody have any comments about the privacy screen?
No,
We all understand that it's going to be not 6 feet high after
6 foot panels up to 7 feet high as the
Yes.
applicant stated.
Okay, 6 feet panels was up to 7 feet high. All right, I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page there. Otherwise, I'd like to make a motion to approve this privacy fence.
Goodrich second.
Okay, Goodrich seconded. Paca, aye.
I
Okay, oh, I'm
I
not
was gonna
coaching
say-
you.
I was gonna say third, but I
Oh,
didn't think that
okay.
was right. So Paca, I.
Okay, good, Goodrich.
Do you want to coach me too, or?
No,
can I keep my own
I was not coaching.
Only the first time.
I was not coaching. I was just trying to say what. It's either
Goodrich
aye
eye.
or nay.
What are you supposed to say? What is
Flashcards
proper,
up next
what
time.
is proper etiquette
That
to
was
approve
all I
or
was.
deny?
That was all.
Yes.
Ferguson, aye.
Keatsman, aye. So I'd like to hear, it's for the minutes. The motions are important to get.
I understand.
They want to hear.
So-
Name and vote.
HDC 24-0011, 20 Pearl Street is approved. HDC 24-0012, 29 Gravel Street, the pedestal electric meter. Does anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts, opinions?
It's well done. I think it's a
Um,
handsome structure.
Making a motion, John, all right.
Oh, yeah, I make a motion to approve.
Keatsman, second.
Okay, Paca,
Paca, I.
Goodrich, aye.
Ferguson, aye.
Keatsman, aye.
Right. HDC 24-0012, 29 Gravel Street is approved. All right. And
So there is supposed to be a pre-app tonight. Some information has been, I think, provided to you guys regarding it, and then there was some additional information. The applicant is currently, doesn't appear to be here at the moment.
And it is-
In the hall a second ago.
Yeah.
Can I just check if?
Sure, if you'd like to, that would be great.
Yeah, 'cause there's nothing in our
thank
packet
you,
about.
Chris.
the
Have a good
pre-app.
night.
There's nothing?
No, not in the
Well,
electronic
maybe he's
packet.
gonna bring it or something, but there's some stuff that he brought to Sue that she said she thought she gave to you guys. Other stuff, but not this. So this was just to assist in minutes pre-app.
Sure,
Thanks.
sure.
Martin Ferguson. No
Martin.
relation.
FER. I'm
Sue's,
FUR.
Sue's writing stuff to tell.
Okay, I even have microphones. Yeah, it's been recorded. Hustle with that. Okay.
Okay, so are you here for pre-application?
Well, I guess so. I'm not familiar with any of this.
Okay.
I do carpentry work and mostly Stonington.
Let's
And
go
I
back to
have a
name and
job.
address.
Excuse me?
Just,
State your, state your name and address first.
Oh, my name is Martin Ferguson. 29 Lincoln Avenue, Pawcatuck.
Mr. Ferguson, this is some information I believe you provided to Sue. In the front office that may assist you in your pre-app presentation tonight. She printed copies for you and these copies will probably be included in your overall application as well.
Okay, so I just need to follow.
Yeah,
Mr. Ferguson, are you the owner of the property? You're doing work on the property?
No, I don't own the property. I'll be working on it in Mystic now.
Huh.
So I just take off and take it from here.
No, you
Well,
don't,
I'm
you sit here.
And,
oh, this is, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You're gonna say, we're gonna switch the screen over. And you are gonna take whatever information that you have. That you brought with you or has been provided to Sue that we made copies for. And you're basically going to give a summary to the commission tonight. To present a pre-application.
Okay,
The purpose of it is to kind of clarify the scope of what you're doing and the commission can then at that point make recommendations for things that are concerns or things that might be lacking in your application. So when
Okay.
you do come in for your actual public hearing and your formal consideration, you'll be better prepared and have a comprehensive packet to present to the commission.
Okay, so do I want to present any of this that I have here to you people?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
kind of like.
that's what you- that's what you're
That's
doing.
like a prep tonight.
And-
This
It's
is
a
a dress
practice
rehearsal before the real thing.
So
So do you
you're not
want me
gonna
to
get
read
approved
any of
tonight.
this or just present it to you?
Well, you can narrate a summary of what the
Yeah.
project is and and
Okay.
maybe an explanation of any support document that you have, such as a plan or materials that you're gonna be
I have all that.
utilizing. Yeah,
And if you want to start by telling us the address of the
That would
project,
address would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
because you said Pawcatuck. and I'm
that's
like,
his.
No,
that's
just
where I
address.
live.
Oh, okay, we were,
But the proposed project will be at 42 West Mystic Avenue, Mystic, Connecticut. And the proposed project is to remove 4 windows on the lower south side of the house, replaced with Marvin windows to match the house. So in other words, they're gonna look just like the original windows that are in the rest of the house, but they're gonna be thermoglass and up to date. And they have a nailing flange that that'll have casing on either side and a windowsill. Everything's gonna be cedar with back primed with an oil-based primer. And water table, cedar water table, and I have a piece of it right here. And it's plowed out to accept the clapboard as they been doing for 300-400 years. So that's how that would work. And
so if you could just back up for 1 second, it looks like you have a spec sheet for the window.
I do.
If you look at the screen to your left, that is a view of the table right in front of you.
Okay,
All right, so if you could orient that spec sheet so the commission can see it, that might be where.
so where do I put this?
keep moving it until it appears,
Until it gets, you probably have to go up with
you
it.
gotta come over towards you, where your
Towards us.
pen is, and then towards me.
You'll see, yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Magic.
I can even scroll it out a little bit if you need to.
You gotta turn it around for.
Yeah, flip it or flip it.
It's
Make
upside down?
make it easier
Yeah.
For us to read
There
than
you go.
you, so you
There
get
you
to
go.
read it upside
Hey,
down.
hey, can I just hop and ask a
There
question,
you
maybe
go.
even save this gentleman some time?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Good.
I
sir,
think I have to go a little further. There we go.
sir. You might be getting to it. I wonder if these windows even could be viewed from the public way because of where the house sits.
I don't know.
As I was gonna ask him. This is the house you're working on right here, the one in the middle?
Can't see that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, this one right here? One that's,
He has pictures.
Okay.
now. It Looks like
Oh,
he,
okay. Well, it's 42 West Grove Street.
yeah, the,
I mean.
West Mystic Avenue.
West Mystic Avenue.
Okay.
And I also, is this,
Yeah.
should I take this
Yeah, no,
away?
that looks pretty
So
Take it away?
just to confirm what you've already said, the windows you're replacing are 2/1,
Yes.
so it's a same.
Yeah, I
window
have
pattern.
pictures of those windows. I took
Mhm.
pictures of the house
Okay,
and that you can see whenever we're done with that.
Mhm.
yeah, why don't you just place it right on top of that piece of paper?
Okay,
Okay.
this is, there's one window on that side we're not replacing. He doesn't
Mhm.
want to replace this window.
Okay.
It's upside
And
down.
as you can, it's upside down.
So it's a
But
2/1.
though, all the windows look like that, which I have another picture. That's the window he doesn't want to replace. That's the furthest one to the right on that side. And this is what this shows the 4 window, oh, right. This shows the 4 windows that would be replaced.
which four are they, the lower four there?
Yeah, there's the lower, it's just the lower part.
So put your finger on the picture to point out which ones.
The windows,
Yep.
this one. This one. This one and this one. So these 1, 2, 3, 4.
Gotcha.
Of course, my hand's in the way.
No. And the one next to the gutter is not being replaced.
The one next to the gutter stays. I kind of wondering why he wants to do that, but. And so, I'd like to show you. A job that I did a couple years ago in the borough, 25 Water Street. And this is only part of it. But that's about what they're gonna look like when they're done. Not the style of sash, of course. a cedar windowsill that's applied from the outside and screwed in. And then a 5/4, in this case, 5/4 by 4 casing, all back primed with oil-based primer. And basically that's. And actually, the house at 42 West Mystic Avenue has a freeze board like that at the top, which acts as its casing. Just like this. So all of that will be biscuit jointed into the freeze board. And
Oh,
So I'm just gonna say something to the board, you guys make your decision. I can't see where those windows are viewable anywhere from the street. They face this house. And if you do the street, you can't even see them, they're hidden, but that's up to you guys.
Where's if you
It's right up-
take the
right up from your house.
picture, your example picture away and you go back to your picture that shows the side of the house, it shows all 4?
No. So it's this one right here in the middle. So
So those are the 4 windows that you're
Even
proposing,
right
and then the
here.
one closest to,
Gutter.
I guess it would be the bottom is the one that is being.
yeah, the
proposed
one
today.
closest to the downspout
Right,
stays.
and that downspout, and that's the front of the house?
No, that's the south side.
That's the south side of the house.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, even.
the
if we
one
go
on
like
the
all way
other,
in
so
there,
the
they mark it.
side, I guess, away from that last window that's remaining.
Right.
That's,
Oh.
that's gonna be the south side of the house.
Right.
Well, the south
This
side.
this is the entire south side of the house.
So,
And
Yes.
what I'll be replacing is these 4 windows here, excluding the one far to the right,
Okay.
and the siding around
Yeah, you
the
can't see it.
windows.
The one far to the right is closest to the street, though. I
That's
think.
what that's what I'm trying to get at, where the street is in.
Isn't it?
Yeah, do you have a
relation to the
plot?
building.
Cause 42 is I'm on 25 West Mystic.
So
Road.
the street is right up at the front to the
Yeah,
Yeah,
far
the street
corner.
is that way.
Yeah.
That's facing the house next to them. So Kirsten and I just looked at it. You can't see those windows anywhere from any of the street. I'm telling you guys right now. It's up to you if you want to vote on it, but I don't, it's not visible from the
Well,
public
that's
way.
too bad because it's gonna look nice when it's done.
I'm trying to save you
I mean,
some time and headache.
But,
So you
yeah,
can't see it when you're walking on the sidewalk?
no, you can't really.
What's in the way? I mean,
Well,
How-
the
how's
house
the
is kind
staircase?
of up in the air a little bit from the street. I don't know
Yeah,
if you.
there's also that stone wall
Yeah.
that goes
Yeah.
up from the
This is
sidewalk.
Mystic Market. So you do the walk around, right?
he's on West Mystic.
I don't,
Oh,
I'm just showing you like all the public ways, right? So. From down here, that's the house that's blocking it. Yeah, it's just we're
Oh,
walking
I
up
see what you
West Mystic. I mean, there's the house right there. So those are the upper windows.
yeah.
Block the sidewalk. Even here, even in like if we come in here to the driveway, you cannot see those windows. They're completely hidden.
Now, if you look at these 2 windows,
where are the windows?
The windows are right below these upper windows you can see here.
if you look at these 2 windows, they don't have that divider,
Okay, good point.
in the
Yeah, I see
upper.
that.
I've done.
That's
it already,
because
same.
this was an addition like, I think, 20 years ago, and they didn't put that, they didn't put those windows with the 2/1 there, but these are gonna be 2/1. So they're-
Right.
all 4 of those will be the 2/1 like the original windows.
So, do you mind if John?
No, in other words, this is
Sorry,
an
Mark.
original window.
Yeah.
They're all gonna look like that, but brand new Marvins that have thermal
Yeah.
glass and.
So I'll tell you my take on it, Marvin. It isn't the same maybe as everybody else's, but I think that picture is great and I would have market. We usually get concerned about which windows exactly got replaced. So that's a good picture for indicating the 4 windows that you're replacing. And your spec sheet looks good to me too. And I think there's debate on, maybe you don't even need to be in front of us because we're only looking at stuff that's visible from the public way. If you have time, if it were me, I would consider coming back, formally applying and getting it, because then you'd never have anybody saying, well, did you get an HTC certificate or not? And your answer would be, I didn't get one because it's not visible. And then that leaves a little question in the air sometimes. But if you go, yep, sure, and here it is, you're sort of more
So
Secure.
what steps do I take to get to that point?
you fill in the application that you've already got.
Okay.
and It might require, it basically requires what you're gonna do, which you kind of described, and a spec sheet, and we usually are pretty keen on materials and where it's gonna happen.
Right.
And it requires coming back, getting on the formal agenda, that's when we can give a formal approval,
Uh-huh.
and you can actually get a certificate. So if you have some time, I would recommend going through the formal way, but whether you,
What do you mean the formal way?
the formal way is come back to a real hearing, make a formal application, and then come back,
And I'll
And-
come to this room or?
same room,
Okay.
yeah. And
When are we planning
well,
on starting the project?
Well, the windows will, I don't know, they're gonna be delayed. You know, I gotta get the permit first, so whenever I can get it.
I mean, if the windows are delayed, then I agree with Ted, come and get the COA, because you're covered. I personally, and this is just my opinion, not speaking for anybody else, I don't think you need it because you can't see the windows from the public
Right.
way. But Ted's probably right, it's probably better to be cautious than not.
Can I?
it's your choice, I'm not telling you what to do, right? It's just.
No, I
The
just wanna get to the
neighbors will
point where I
say-
have
neighbors will
the
say,
permit,
"Did you go
you know,
through
so
the
I
thing?"
can,
and
I
or
can move
did you, or
forward, that's
didn't
all,
you?
so.
So the only thing difficult about the process is it takes time. So if you have time, then you can get it sort of all formally done. And I walk by the street every day. I'll also confirm that you can't see it. I'm sure John's right, because he's.
I was gonna say,
So
I was at my parents every day on Irving
I
Street,
know.
too, so I was gonna walk by there. and
So,
So
do the same
can
thing.
I give you
So
a
the
list
thing
of
is-
things to add to your presentation that are missing?
yeah, sure.
All right, so,
They're in the application thing too, I think. But
right, but I mean, just for your, a
Mhm.
plot
Plot plan.
plan.
Plot plan, I need a plot plan?
Yeah, to
You
show
can
us
pull it
where.
off the.
You pull it off the GIS.
If you are gonna actually, submit an application, for a public hearing, if you come in, one of the girls will help you at the kiosk, to help you compile that information.
Come here during the day.
Yeah. Possible.
Okay, plot plan, fill that out.
Circle the windows on that picture that you're, or any picture similar to that one that you are actually replacing.
No, you guys were talking about, you can't see this from the road. What were you worried about seeing? The window that's
Oh.
not replaced?
No, the point is, if we can't, if you,
If
things
you-
that are not visible from a public way don't require. a
Our
certificate.
approval.
Right, so why am I going through this?
Well, that's the
Because
point.
I'll disagree with John in that when the
I
vegetation.
don't disagree
is-
with him, he's offering a
or
different.
A different, a different, I'll say, because if the vegetation dies during the winter, you will be able to see it. So,
Okay,
so that's why I just go through the
I
process.
don't remember the vegetation or where it is, but,
I'm just going. from the-
okay.
So you just try to be, I can tell that maybe we're not making ourselves so clear. If you can't see stuff from a public road, we don't rule on it. It's not up to us. Right?
So should I go take a walk?
Well, you can do that. And it's just, and then we've got into problems with what's seeable, right?
Right.
Because maybe somebody further up the hill somewhere else can see it, and
Good point.
if they.
I didn't think
and
that
if
that
they
Riverview house,
complain,
maybe they could see down on it.
and then we say, well, it wasn't visible, and then they have a telephoto lens, they take a picture and they say it is visible. You take a little more risk by not getting a certificate. If you
So-
get a certificate, you're good, you're golden, right? Because you go,
Right.
"Here, I
So-
put it, I gave you all the specs, I got a certificate. And so if in chatter
was
and
approved.
stuff that comes up, you don't have any,
So,
don't have
When
any
I
risk.
suggested you may not need it, I was trying to help you move your project
Right.
along, but if you're waiting for windows anyhow, I gotta defer to Ted's opinion. It's
Right.
probably the most judicious way to go, because nobody can ever complain.
all right, plot, plan, certificate, fill that out.
Sue just texted me and said that should be a plot plan in your folder that I gave you.
Okay.
in the folder already.
Oh,
Is there one amongst those documents there? Is that?
and again, I just was going,
Yeah.
what I was seeing.
And because to me, he's replacing like kind windows,
Right.
you know, it's a pretty clean project as far as I'm concerned.
That's notice that you're gonna have to.
Try to put that somewhere where it's visible.
Yeah, that should go at the foot of your driveway.
So I'll find that in here somewhere. Oh, yes, right here.
Plot plan Right there.
Okay,
All right, so
if you put your plot plan on the recording, where these
Okay.
pictures are. And point to me where the windows are.
well, oh, 42 is here, okay.
Just
I guess I have to make sure I know where,
scroll towards you a little bit.
I guess I have to make sure I know where.
There you go. So for your next presentation, kind of put a little 4 dots on that to show us where on the.
Is this West Mystic Avenue here?
Yes.
Well,
I think it is.
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah,
yeah. So I can tell by
That's
the-
West
from the
Mystic
house,
Avenue?
yeah.
yeah, the windows would be 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. So just put, not right now, but put dots on the plot plan. where-
Don't put that.
I mean, you can.
You
but
can do it
that's-
right
It's something like that, and then this one,
It's not right.
the one near the corner stays.
um,
Okay. You guys
So if you
done
get
with me,
all
you
this
think?
stuff assembled by Thursday, you'll be on the agenda 2 weeks from today.
For our next meeting.
So
the next
what's it, the
meeting.
19th?
That would be the 19th, yes.
And I'm gonna say my opinion only, what I'm seeing looks good. Again, that's not
Yeah.
official anything, but if I was to vote on it in 2 weeks, I like what I see.
Yeah.
Of that.
Yeah.
Looks very straight.
Okay, can I see
So-
this?
You have
Yeah,
to
it's
post
just-
that on the foot of your driveway so people know that you're doing work.
I should
The
post
sub-
this
the subject-
tomorrow?
The subject property.
Or
Okay,
sorry, yeah.
so it'll be visible from the road then,
Right.
Yeah.
on the house.
Correct.
Mhm.
I don't know if
Or you
that's
can put
possible.
it on like a lawn sign. You can
Okay.
a variety of ways to make it
Just-
visible to neighbors,
Now,
basically.
did you want to record this today?
No, you verbalized all that. so-
Yeah.
Bring
okay.
that along.
Submit that as one of your support documents
Right.
for your application.
Okay,
So
And then,
Martin, it's a good project. This is all just practice. Just keep, like, this didn't actually, nothing official happened yet.
and you have your,
I mean, I've done a lot of this, but
Right.
I've never experienced going through the historic district
Right.
in Groton.
How do you like it so far?
Well, it's a learning curve to it for sure.
It'll make,
And it'll make the next time
2 weeks-
easier.
2
if I
weeks
do
will be
it.
easy.
Two
Yeah,
weeks,
you'll-
you-
yeah, exactly.
as long as you have,
Answer, I like it.
and yeah, just have
No,
the,
I don't think I need this. You
Well,
want-
that was just the.
A folder to help
had
you
your
carry your
information
papers
that you
around.
provided. You can take that back or leave it.
courtesy of the town.
Well, I have a folder.
I'd say you're very free things from the town of Groton, they get at their offices.
Well, I gotta tell you something about, maybe I shouldn't say this, but.
Yeah, you are
you're being recorded.
And it's
for-
on
as a-
YouTube.
Well,
tomorrow.
you guys understand the water table?
No, I don't actually.
Really? Well, this is,
I really
this
don't.
goes on the very lowest part of the house. It's
Right.
gonna be
Yeah.
cedar, of course, back primed, oil-based primer.
Isn't it
Clapboard sits
upside
on there
down?
Like that.
Yeah.
Isn't it upside down?
No, that's how it goes. This is the very bottom board on the house.
Oh, on the house.
Yeah,
Oh, I
And
I
then your
thought,
clapboard sits on that, and then,
Yeah.
of course, this is gonna be primed completely through.
Yeah.
This sits on there like that, and the next clapboard goes here and so
Yeah,
on and so
yeah, yeah.
forth. But I guess I had a story to tell you about that, but
What was the story?
is it related to the
well,
window?
it has to do with an architect who designed this particular house with these people that I did all the carpentry work on. And the way what he wanted to do was take a piece of drip edge and, well, it's actually, he wanted it to look like this on the top and just put a piece of drip edge.
Like
But I
a
didn't do it.
flashing?
I did it the way they've been doing it for 350,
Yeah.
400 years.
Probably wise.
Yeah, I mean, this works better than a piece of metal on wood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really does.
Sounds like you wanted to do chimney flashing kind of concept.
Yeah, but that's the easy way to do it, I guess, but this is, I think, the right way.
Right.
And that's the way I've been doing it, but
So
Yeah.
how does that fit into the window? I thought that was the bottom of the
that's the
window.
bottom, yeah.
It is the
I'm
bottom.
replacing that too.
The bottom of the window.
No, the bottom of the
He's replacing the
Huh?
siding from the bottom of the window
Yeah,
to the actual top of the
the
foundation.
siding around the windows will be replaced and at the very bottom of the clapboards siding is this water table.
Is that on the application?
Well, I think
It's part of the siding.
it's part of, to do a replacement window, he's not doing a replacement window. He's actually taking the full frame out and the trim and everything, and in doing so, he's probably gonna have to remove some of the siding and
Okay.
then come back up
Oh,
with it.
for sure. The
So
side,
that's-
I think if
But
he
it's
just
gonna be all
explains that
fixed.
the siding repair is going to be like for like what's there, you should be
Yeah.
okay with what,
I agree.
yeah.
the process.
Make sure you put that in.
Write that down, that you're gonna,
And part of
Okay.
your narrative.
as part of your narrative.
But some
Replacing
siding,
the water table and siding.
Yeah.
like for like.
I think I did that,
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think you did too.
Okay,
but I don't think I mentioned the water table, but.
right, that's why I thought that was the bottom of the window.
No, this is the
That's the
very bottom of the house
house.
where, in
Okay.
other words, the stone foundations down here.
Yeah.
Very
Okay,
first board that fits on the house, clapboard, then clapboards up to the
to the window.
breeze board up top.
Excellent.
So,
Are we thoroughly confused or are you good?
no, I'm pretty confused, but I've always been confused. You know, it makes it interesting when you're confused, I guess. You got something to learn every time, you know? All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Are you,
Good luck.
And I hope I didn't miss anything.
So, sir, in order to get on the next agenda, you have to have all your information and your application submitted no later than Thursday of this week.
this Thursday?
So are you gonna be, is it gonna be possible for you to get in tomorrow or Thursday and bring all that back? And fill out.
So I got 2 days.
Yeah,
Think so,
okay,
you know, just, all I can to try to get it done.
so. Okay, so Susan has said it, so you've already been in here.
Yeah, I
All right.
already paid for my permit.
Okay, so you have an application started and some of that stuff is already uploaded to your application. She said the only thing she does not have is your handwritten narrative. So if you were to provide your handwritten narrative, she could probably complete your application. You wouldn't have to come
You
back in.
mean this thing that I just read
Yeah,
you?
yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, if they're all set with you, I'm gonna take that and go make a copy of it. And
Okay.
I'll keep a copy and I'll give it to her, and then these guys can move on with it.
Well,
And while
if you
he's,
could read it and tell me if I've been, efficient enough. Where is it?
It can be, we can
Right,
amend
here
it
it is.
too, so.
We can fix it at the meeting.
Yeah, it can be amended. All right, let me go make a copy of this for you, and be right back.
Okay, I got a picture of the water table,
okay,
That's fine.
okay.
which is the same size as.
Yeah. While he's doing that, I'll ask about your last name,
Okay.
which is a beautiful last name, I might, yeah.
You might have the same last name.
Yeah, so mine was changed in the 1850s from your version.
Really? Why'd they do that?
He had he was upset with his parents and he didn't want to be affiliated with, yeah. So I was just curious if is your family from the area originally? Are you
Yeah.
Ferguson, Fisher's Island,
My
Ferguson?
family, the Fergusons have been a Mystic for, I don't know how long, maybe 100 years.
Yeah.
And before that, they were up in upper state New York.
Uh-huh.
And then probably from Scotland at
Right.
that point before that, you
Yeah.
know. But I guess originally the name is Irish
Mhm.
and somehow the Irish ended up in Scotland. I don't know how they
Yeah.
got there.
So,
I could probably get
No,
more information.
no, I was
but,
just,
You know, but
I obviously studied my own family history and we came from Montrose, Scotland and spelled,
oh, yeah.
that way. So I was just, again,
No, wait a minute. No, the Ferguson name is originally Scottish, right?
yeah, son
Yeah.
of Fergus, yeah,
Then somehow they ended up in Ireland.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Right.
but I was, again, just
Now, that is a strange spelling.
Yeah.
Ferguson.
yeah.
I mean, not only did they get rid of the E in the beginning,
They added another U.
yeah.
I mean, they added, so
So how'd you get that story?
so my family's very big on genealogy and understanding. And so we were shipwrecked on Long Island, on the south shore of Long Island, and migrated into it's called New Utrecht, New York, which is like part of Brooklyn area. And then we just kind of hung out on Long Island, eastern part of Long Island, southern and eastern part. And so we had a potato farm in Yaphank, Long Island, and we're on Fire Island for many.
Well, you think you would be Irish if you had potatoes.
Yeah, I think we were just desperate to. Yeah. We were just desperate to. We were very much into like land.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so, no, and I met the Fergusons from Fisher's Island, and I have another set of friends.
Well, I don't know if you know, my dad, John Ferguson, he wrote a play called Clippertown, and he put it he put it on a couple of times in Mystic.
Oh,
And he also gave his proposal for the state song of Connecticut.
wow.
It was turned down. He wrote a song called Connecticut My Home. He was a songwriter,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, he was kind of local famous at the time,
And there's a Scott William Ferguson. Are you related to him? And-
Mystic.
There's one in Mystic and there's another one in Stonington. Because both of them go by William, so
Yeah.
whenever.
We've met them, but
Yeah.
I mean, well, we've met Alan Ferguson, and I'm not sure if they're related to who you're talking about, but we're not related to them because I think they're Scottish.
I was just,
But
I just love family history, so. For the record, I'm just making a motion to recess for 10 minutes.
Second, Goodrich. If it needs to be seconded,
Aye.
Aye.
aye, ayes all around.
Eyes all around.
Should we move on to whatever else is on the agenda?
And when we recess, yeah. When the recess.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm not without that. I was trying to vet that out.
Yeah, I don't- Tim,
Well, we're not gonna do minutes tonight.
correct.
Well, there's
Just
not much-
new business, old business, and any enforcements. So, yeah, so
Here he comes.
I was looking at my family history, so in 1850, there was a guy named Ferguson.
Was
F-E-R-G-U-S-O-N.
Friday the first.
Friday.
And then his
Go
son,
first.
Yes.
Okay. When you come back for your
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
application, bring everything you have
Okay.
with you as well, okay?
All right, so the certificate that I'm looking for is something that I'm gonna get. Hopefully when I come back next time.
within 2 days,
Okay,
we'll vote on it, if it's approved, which again, none of us have any glaring red flags about it. You'll get something from Tim's office saying. You'll
What,
hear
email?
it verbally, and then you'll get something, is it mail
Yeah,
or
it
email?
comes by email. It goes through our permitting or through our permitting software.
okay.
It'll be the next day. She does them right out of the gate.
All right, I'm gonna come here tomorrow and bother Susan,
Okay,
so she'll help me figure it out.
yeah, I think you had, according to what she told me, you're already partway there. You started an application. You have some
Right.
support stuff already loaded to your application. There's just a few more things that you're gonna add to that. And your application should be considered complete and submitted.
Okay, well, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, I make a motion to reconvene at 7:56.
Your seconds.
Yes, yeah.
Keaton second.
Okay, all right, we are back in progress. Right, so pre-apps are now complete. Do we have any public communications?
I didn't think of this. Should we have made a motion to add into the agenda?
Yeah, we should have, but don't worry about it.
Okay, well.
I don't
didn't-
believe that's even a real thing we have to do, but that's,
I think if they sign in, which I don't think he did, I think you're okay by just hearing three applications. It's not like it's a hearing, it's not like it even really has to.
We
be
didn't vote on
identified.
anything.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Right.
No. All right, well, I apologize that I didn't
No,
do
or
that,
I didn't
but,
think of it either till too late.
but.
I
um,
have nothing
For
as far
public-
as outside for public communications. I
Okay.
don't know if anybody else does.
All right, we're going to continue approval of the minutes to the next meeting. I'll make a motion to continue the approval of the minutes.
second, Goodrich,
All right,
Aye. Packer.
Goodrich, aye.
Ferguson, I.
Keats and I,
Can I just ask, why are you doing that?
Just
because
these guys haven't seen them.
Weren't you here at the last regular meeting?
Oh, I thought we were talking about the special meeting. I'm sorry,
No.
I wasn't paying attention.
These are regular meeting minutes.
Oh.
You have
Yeah,
three.
no, and there's three, we
She
can do
could
it,
abstain
right,
because she's not part of it,
Okay.
right.
but
Sorry about that. I was
Okay.
not paying attention.
my
That's my bad.
apologies for not catching it before you made an action.
Oh, okay. I make a motion to retract that last motion.
is that how we do that? Is that really how it works?
That's what,
I'll second the retraction.
okay,
Is this about the retraction?
yeah,
Yeah,
To be clear?
yeah.
Becca, aye.
Goodrich, aye.
Ferguson, I. Keatsman.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of our regular meeting at 7 PM on February 20th as written.
Goodrich, second.
All right,
she,
You
she's
got-
gonna abstain.
she's gonna abstain. 'cause you're-
Becca abstain.
There you
All right,
Goodrich, aye.
Ferguson, I.
Keatsman, I.
All right, so the minutes for February 20th are approved.
go. Sorry about that.
What do you want?
The pen this time.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Let's see.
You were here though, so theoretically you were observing the meeting.
Yeah. I wasn't sworn in.
I understand.
But that's just fine. I'm not saying it's the right way. Just should do that.
Okay, do we have any old business?
Nope. I don't.
I just wanted to, I don't know if this falls under old business, Tim, but you were in communications with Bank and Bridge, and you had been very kind and periodically checking in. I didn't know if you had an update.
I don't have
on-
any update on it
That's-
at all.
Okay.
I have a couple of things that, are going to be at the forefront of revisiting here in the next couple of weeks. I've had a couple of projects that have been somewhat consuming, at the moment. But that is one of them.
Okay,
I think getting in touch with him sooner than later, given the arrival of the season, is probably the best idea. So I will reach out to him here in short order.
okay, no, I just was, because you've been so good about checking in with us, I just didn't know. If
Yeah.
you had a latest and greatest,
Nope.
and that's
Nothing on that.
all right
Nothing from Tom, so I don't think there's anything,
for official.
yeah, anything that's been cited or letters written or anything at this point.
All right. Does anybody have any new business? All right. With that, I will again say welcome to Kirsten Haka. And make a motion to adjourn.
Keatsman second.
All right.
All in favor, aye.
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 Aye. All right.
So I guess you're gonna wait till everybody else is here and address
The handbook.
a meeting for the handbook?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yes, yes.
great. All right, thanks, guys.